What's up, guys? Long time no see. I come bearing both good news and bad news. Now, the bad news you already saw from the title and the thumbnail. Call of Duty is at an all-time low, even for their standards. And we're going to talk about those numbers. We're going to talk about how they got there, chances of redemption, and probably most importantly, the future of this channel. Now, good news is I'm back. But if you've been catching me over on Twitter or over on Twitch on my live streams, you guys know I have been going through the blender over the last couple of months. Okay, most notably back in December, my son, I have a 1-year-old son, was in and out of the hospital, emergency room, urgent care, ambulance even, with some pretty severe respiratory infection and complications. And that took my #1 priority throughout the entire month of December. It was a really rough go, but he is back to full health, no long-term effects, and he's healthy. I'm healthy. I'm excited for the new year, and Call of Duty is, well, yeah, let's talk about it. Now, you guys know I'm not one of those doom and gloom channels that just wants to feed off of your frustrations. That's just not the energy that I want to put out into the world. I want you to be excited when you see my content. Now, that being said, I'm not going to feign excitement about amazing new content when there's nothing there, okay? I have been objective and brutally honest with these developers year after year after year, and it's costed me invites to tournaments. It's costed me exclusive opportunities to go see cool things, but I don't really care because my #1 priority is me enjoying the game and using my platform to amplify your voices about what you want for the game. And that's what I'm going to continue to do, and it's what we're going to talk about today, and it's why we're going to be able to pretty objectively see why Call of Duty is falling off the face of the cliff. For a long time there, it seemed like there wasn't a lot of competition for Warzone, and that was their biggest asset, but that's not the case anymore. People are leaving in droves to new extraction shooters, new battle royales, new pop-up hits like Marvel Rivals, or even the sponsor of today's video, Smite 2. While Call of Duty's in a slump, there's no better time to check out a new game, especially when it's free to play like Smite 2. Now, if you've never heard of Smite 2 before, it is the highly anticipated sequel to Smite, which is a MOBA game that captured millions of users. But they've added onto it with loads of new content, new modes, and you can see some of the gameplay going on in the background, but they have intense 5v5 battles. You can even get into 1v1 duels, and the best thing about it is there is massive amounts of strategy and teamwork, so the skill gap is there where you can feel yourself improving, but it's built around new players coming to the game. Now, on top of that, they're also adding a bunch of new content, including brand new gods like Aladdin and the Genie in the background. They've got new joust and duel game modes, and the best part about it is cross-play and cross-progression support, so you can play with your friends across different platforms. Unfortunately, it's not just another content drop and then dip out. The developers are heavily involved, constantly talking with the community about how they can make the game better for the players. A shock, right? And then on top of that, they're adding new heroes, new game modes, new content for everyone every single week. If you guys are interested in checking out Smite 2, you can click the link down in the pinned comment or the description to find out more and begin your grind to master the gods in game. A huge shout out to Hi-Res Studios for sponsoring today's video. All right, now let's get caught up to speed on Call of Duty, because there's some insight that I've given over on Twitter that you may not be familiar with here, and some new developments over within like the last 48 hours as to what exactly is happening with this game. So I wasn't super happy with the launch of Black Ops 6 Warzone integration. They added a lot of amazing things like Omni movement, but then they slowed so many things down to make it feel clunky, and then unnecessary changes like ammo boxes and getting rid of default perks. And fortunately, they've reverted a lot of that, but it's getting to the point where like I don't even feel like the developers are listening to anything we have to say, because in the past I would do these scathing reviews talking about things from Warzone 2 after Call of Duty Next, 155,000 views ripping the game apart. Play it again for the next Call of Duty Next, 300,000 views ripping the game apart. And they don't listen to any of these changes until after the community tries it, agrees with me, hates the game, and we lose the player base. And the same thing happened again this year, except for this year I didn't even try to wait until I did a critical video review. I tried to be professional in the years past and fill out the form. And then I tried to do the video review. And then I tried to like post on Twitter. But like this year, when I was at Call of Duty Next in Washington, D.C., I legitimately went to the developers, to their face, at Call of Duty Next, and was like imploring them. I'm like, this is wrong. What you're doing is going to be a mistake. And it's... I don't know what to do as a creator and as someone with a voice and a leverage and a platform. And so many people talk to us creators like, oh, if you guys would just use your platforms, if you would just talk to the... I promise you, we have been beating our heads against the wall for 5 years. I don't know what the hell they're doing with the game. And almost every change they have made has been a direct contrast to what we want. I see this narrative all the time that they listen to pros, that they listen to sweaty creators. They don't. Oh my God, they do not. I just want the game to go back to Verdansk. I want it to feel like Verdansk. No clunky animations, no extra visual recoil. Like just simplicity and fluidity, please. But developers, they just keep trying to push their own narrative of, they feel like jump shotting doesn't belong in the game. So screw your game and screw what you enjoyed in 2019 and 2020. Their vision matters more. And I had the same conversation, right? The devs wanted the game to feel one-to-one to multiplayer. That means no default perks. And I was in person in DC, like, what the hell are you doing? This is going to go horribly. And it did. Now, fortunately, they did add these back. I don't know why they didn't listen to us in the first place, but the game still feels super clunky. Here's a great example of a comparison between now and then back in Modern Warfare. Like that, bro. Let me hit a fucking jump shot. Like, I want to hit a fucking jump shot. And if you look, when you go to jump, your gun will do this little wobble and it'll hit and dude, tank down like 20 degrees, continue to shake, and now you're back on target. Compare this back to the glory days of Verdansk. And if you look, you jump, boom, line on line, jump, boom, line on line. And when you slew your scope back and forth, it doesn't have this parallax sway. My crosshair is on the center of my screen. I know that's a crazy foreign concept. I feel like we're headed in the right direction, but my biggest worry is that we have to make these changes before Verdansk. We have to. We cannot wait for another crappy first impression. And here's another great example before and after of showing the B-hops. Ugh. Modern Warfare 2019. Pop, 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 pop. Just crisp, fluid. Crouch is like you're in mud. And the rear scope is moving in your face and you can't, it's blocking your front post. Modern Warfare. Snappy. Super snappy. I mean, we don't have to bring snaking back, but just give us some sort of movement. And I think the game would be so dang good, but they just keep digging their heels in over these little changes that are inconsequential to like their development goals, in my opinion. But it is a fundamental feeling the second a player touches the game, like, this game doesn't feel right. There's something doesn't. It's Call of Duty. It's an arcade shooter. What are we doing here? Stop digging your heels in prior to Verdansk and just make the game feel good. They said that they would increase the jump speed and successive jump speed in the most recent update. Here is the most recent update. It's like,
you guys see, I'm spamming my jump. It's like this weird, like, what is that?
It's horrible. Oh, it's so bad. It's so bad. It's so bad. And then don't even get me started on the bugs. Like, everyone's getting shadow banned. People are blue screening nonstop. I don't know if you've seen this. This isn't even talking about the cheaters coming back yet. Everyone's getting shadow banned, including people who are playing on console. Like, you can't even escape the shadow ban playing on console. People are getting blue screened. I've seen people with their PCs like permanently bricked and they have to reinstall Windows. Like, this whole season was only to bring back the game and like reduce bugs. Like I said, this isn't meant to be a complaining video. I guess this is why I've struggled for a while with not posting videos, is because like I wanna put out amazing guides. I want to put out, you know, just enlightening content, super fun, entertaining stories, but you can't do that when the game doesn't even give you the tools to do it. Or if you do give these tips, half the comments are like, yeah, there's no point in learning tips or improving in this because I'm just going to die to a cheater. It's just, as a creator, man, it is so disheartening. And as a community, it's just such a slap in the face just to just continue to shadow ban all your players, to let cheaters run rampant, can't join your friends because they're on a different version, continuous dev errors, continuing to blue screen. And these were recent updates where the cheating situation 5 days after season 2 is now unplayable. I'm seeing it all over my timeline. People are losing their minds over it. You're gonna have to play console or not play at all. PC Warzone is dead. And so all of that kind of leads me to really a core point is like, for me, it's not so much a matter of bugs. We have rose-tinted glasses when we think about Verdansk. Verdansk was a buggy freaking mess. That game did not play well. Okay, it played smooth. The gameplay mechanics were smooth, but there were bugs nonstop. People were glitching onto the map with helicopters. They were glitching onto the map over by airport to shoot you onto the map. We had texture bugs. We had dev errors. Cheaters were pretty rampant. One-shot headshots all across the map, which I think are fun and probably should just be brought back. But the game was a mess, but it was fun. It was fun because I will take a buggy game that is fresh and fluid over a game 5 years later that is stale with no new content and still just as buggy. The content for season 2 was one perk and then a new perk in the half season. That's it. Which has led to the average player base on Steam, and I'll you know, we're going to talk about not Steam here in a second, going down to 60,000. Now, I understand a lot of players are on Xbox, PlayStation. I'll show those numbers here in a moment. But this has just been a representative tool that we've used in the past as an indicator. Okay, let's look at last January. 89,000, so 90,000. We are down 33% from last January. Let's look at the January prior to that. 102,000. We go from 102,000 to 90,000 to 60,000. 60,245 is the lowest this game has ever been in its history outside of one other month, and that is September of 2023. That's basically after Modern Warfare 2, waiting before Modern Warfare 3 drops. Like, this is horrible. We are 2 months after the integration hit. We are 2 months after Black Ops 6, and we're at 60,000. And the only other time it's been below 60,200 was in September. This is bad. And I know a lot of people are going to say, Isaac, what about console? Okay. Console, yes, it still is showing high on its leaderboards. And I know a lot of people use Battle.net over on PC as well. But when this is tracking it, it's only tracking weekly active users. And what I'm seeing in my comment section, what I'm seeing in my Twitch chat, what I'm seeing in YouTube videos is people are signing on, trying it, saying, this sucks. I'm out. Weekly active user, all you need to do to qualify as a weekly active user is interact with the platform once. So if you play any of the games, MW2, MW3, Black Ops 6, Zombies, Warzone, whatever it is, if you touch it one time in that entire week, you count as a weekly active user. So the Call of Duty HQ system kind of rigs it to make it seem like there are a lot more players than there actually are. If you go into the Google Trends and you see how many people are talking about the game, how many people are searching for YouTube videos, we are at like an all-time low. Period. This is third-party data here. Like, the most this game was talked about was back in the Verdansk days, and then this actually wasn't a spike in players. This was a, oh my god, Warzone 2.0 is awful. What the hell did they do to this franchise? And it hasn't recovered since. Then we get MW3, get a decent little recovery, and then we get Black Ops 6, and people are like, oh shit, they messed it up again. So we're in a dead spot right now. That doesn't mean the game is dead. I still enjoy playing it here and there, but it's just stale. Even if they were to magically wave a wand and get rid of cheaters and get rid of the bugs, they still have so many changes to make on the lack of content and the core gameplay to make it feel good. And that's where I'm at. Now, there is a light at the end of the tunnel.
I'm happy to officially confirm that the iconic 2020 launch map from the original Call of Duty Warzone, Verdansk, will return spring 2025.
Spring 2025. More than likely what that means, if you go to the Battle Pass right now, you see the Battle Pass ends in around 45 days, 43 days, depending on when this video is posted, which basically turns out to be March 20th. Okay, March 20th is 10 days after the 5-year anniversary of Warzone. If you guys know, Warzone Verdansk dropped all the way back March 10th, 2025. And it was, I believe, the fastest growing game of all time. 30 million players 10 days after the game launched. So there is a chance that people are going to hear the name Verdansk and give it one last try. But if this game sucks whenever Verdansk launches, which I'm really afraid they're going to do, like they're going to make it suck because they're just going to continue to try to force feed their individual visions that they've been force feeding for the last 5 years down our throats, instead of overhauling the game to make it the game that people fell in love with 5 years ago, they're going to mess up the first impression. And then player counts are going to start to drop, and then they're going to start to make it better 3, 4, 5, 6 months later. But guess what? Everyone already left. And it's a cycle that I would like to believe is going to change, but I would be naive to think so at this point. They've continued to 1 step forward, 2 steps back for every title release for the last 4 years, and I'm gonna try it. I will continue to let you know objectively whether or not I'm enjoying it, but it's not super promising. Let's be honest. When I look at this, I really like fear what happened to another Activision Blizzard title. Okay, this is a comment I saw on a Marvel Rivals video, and it says, "I hope the industry takeaway is when you antagonize their own, when someone antagonizes their own fan base as hard as Blizzard did, Activision Blizzard, same people that run Call of Duty, as much as they did with Overwatch, you can go take their market. Hero shooters weren't dead, people just gave up on Overwatch." And I'm feeling a lot of the same narrative right now with Warzone. Battle Royales aren't dead. People just are giving up on Warzone. Okay, Marvel Rivals in the exact same way. This isn't COVID era shutdown. This is 20 million players in 10 days. Warzone, fastest growing all time, 30 million players in 10 days. This got 20 million players. That's still extremely impressive, especially not in the midst of a, global shutdown. And so you compare now 374,000. If you compare the last, month, continued steady. They're about to be in a mid-season slump, but they're about to have another mid-season update. 374,000 24-hour peak compared to 96,000 on a Saturday. Like, I really want Call of Duty to succeed, man. Like, this isn't, I don't relish in this. I don't hate the developers. So many people are excited when they see Call of Duty fail, and it used to break my heart, man, but like now I've just kind of accepted it, which is kind of a crappy spot to be. But you look at Call of Duty as a whole, you look at Warzone, Call of Duty is the yellow, Warzone is the blue. Like, we've had a good run, but it's starting to go down and down and down. Black Ops 6 was a solid launch, but now people are starting to get tired of that. And now other games are starting to pop up and take off. I mean, Marvel Rivals. More people are talking about Marvel Rivals right now than any peak in Warzone's history. So, obviously, this is third-party data. None of this is conclusive, and I'm sure plenty of people are enjoying the game, just like I'm enjoying the game. But I'm not enjoying it so much that I have content every single day that I'm super excited to share with you. That's just the truth of it. So, what does that mean for the future of this channel? Okay, I'm not quitting Warzone, but while Warzone is slow, we're gonna be checking out some other stuff. Okay, I'm gonna be switching. I'm gonna be doing multi-streaming. I haven't done multi-streaming before. I'm gonna be bringing multi-streaming over here to the first YouTube channel. That means we're gonna be checking out Warzone updates. They have the new Terminator content update. I'm gonna be telling you straight up, honestly, what I'm enjoying the most. If Warzone's hot, you might see nothing but Warzone videos for a month straight, 2 months straight, 6 months straight. Who knows? But if another game comes up, or if Warzone's in the slump, dude, I mentally don't want to do it anymore. Like, business-wise, it's a bad decision. And just most importantly, like, I'm creatively passionate. I want to make videos about things that I'm excited about. I want to teach you how to get better at games that actually reward a skill gap. And I know this turned into a little bit more of a ramble session than I originally intended. It's just, I kind of want to let you guys know that's where the future of this channel is heading. It's going to be a little bit more variety moving forward. Warzone will still be the #1 focus. If they're crushing it, I'm going to make content on it. If there's significant updates, I'm going to make content on it. But if it's not what I'm enjoying, I'm going to be trying out other games. Okay, and I'm sure just as many of you guys are, comment down below if you're trying out any new games yourself. That's just the reality of the world. And I think we've given Call of Duty way too many chances over way too many years. And I would love to be proven wrong as we head into Verdansk and they knock it out of the park. Like, I would love nothing more than that. Now, that being said, we do have the second channel, the Warzone Academy, and we're actually going to be activating on that a lot more. I, for the first time ever, have someone working full-time for me that's helping out with content and helping out with a lot of the behind-the-scenes stuff that keeps me off the stream and out of making videos. So that's going to allow me to make more content than ever. The second channel, especially if we start, you know, falling in love with another game, whether it be Marvel Rivals or Verdansk flops, and we check out something like Grand Theft Auto 6, like, I'm going to be playing that game. Warzone Academy will never die. I'll be making dedicated content for that. You might see something shift over there, whether it be settings videos, loadout videos, tips, tricks, coaching, depending on the status of the game, man. I'm just gonna play what I'm enjoying the most on this channel. And that's what the first channel is gonna be, is variety. Ideally Warzone if it's doing well. Second channel is gonna be exclusively Warzone guides. So if you don't want to miss out on anything and you are diehard Warzone no matter what, I totally get it. I enjoy the game too. Make sure you subscribe there. That's the plan. I'm loving Warzone. I'm killing it in game. I have my best stats ever in terms of like my public stats. In tournaments, I'm placing better than I ever have in my Warzone career. Like, I'm enjoying and I'm slaying the game. It's just not enough that there are things where I'm like, yo, you guys got to stop and watch this. You have to see this video. You have to see this insight. And since all of my content for the longest time has been value-based, where I'm trying to give you the best guides, I'm trying to give you the best settings to make your game run better, I'm trying to show you something extremely exciting when it comes to new content that you need to check out for yourself. If I don't have that feeling, I'm just not going to post a video. That's where I'm at. That's kind of my content philosophy. Everything for me is about providing value to you guys. That if I'm not seeing the value in Warzone, we'll check out some other games, check out some new stuff with Stone, guys like Lucci, collab with other people, PUBG, Delta Force, Marvel Rivals, Arma Reforger. Like, dude, there's way too many good games out there for me to be spending every single day talking about Verdansk. So I hope COD turns it around. I really do. Google Trends shows them at an all-time low. Steam player base shows them at an all-time low. I see comments in other videos. I see that my fellow creators' viewership all-time low. We got about 45 days until Verdansk drops, and that's really going to be the final straw for a lot of people. So, a little bit of a ramble session. Life is good. Appreciate you guys' patience. Appreciate everyone coming and stopping over by the Twitch stream, especially when I was, you know, taking care of my son that last month. That was a lot to handle mentally, emotionally, and logistically. And then we kind of got to the point trying to figure out what the heck are we going to do with content, because COD's just not what it used to be. So let me know what your thoughts are down below. Like I said, I'm still going to be playing COD. You can expect to see some streams here. Just expect me to be branched out on this channel a little bit moving forward. Okay, comment down below what you're playing. Comment down below what your thoughts are on COD, and I will see you guys on the next one. Shout out again to Smite 2 for sponsoring today's video. Peace.